Hello, I am Dr. Shigar Kanti. In this video, let us verify the set of square roots of unity. The set of square roots of unity and the set of cube roots of unity and the set of fourth roots of unity forms an abelian group with respect to multiplication. Okay, let us start with the square roots of unity. So what is the square root of unity? Square root of unity is nothing but the values of root of 1. What are the values of root of 1? Let me take the value of this root of 1 is equal to x. And if I square this, squaring, we get x square is equal to 1 or x square minus 1 is equal to 0. And this 1 can be written as 1 square. 1 can be written as 1 square. And this is in the form of a square minus b square. And we know that this is equal to a minus b into a plus b. Okay. So therefore, x square minus 1 square can be written as x minus 1 into x plus 1 is equal to 0. So this implies x minus 1 equal to 0 or we have x plus 1 is equal to 0. Suppose x minus 1 equal to 0, then we get x is equal to 1, and if x plus 1 equal to 0, we get x is equal to minus 1. So that is here x is equal to 1 and minus 1. So these are the square roots of unity. So let me take this as a set here. Let me take g is equal to 1 comma minus 1. 1 comma minus 1. We have to verify whether this set is a group with respect to multiplication or not. For that we have to verify the closure law, associative law, identity element and the inverse element. And in addition, if I show that the commutative law also holds, then you say that G is a abelian group with respect to multiplication. So for this is a finite set. If G is a finite set, to verify that this is a group, first we draw the table, which is known as the composition table. How to draw the composition table? So here I will draw the composition table as the table here. Here we write the operation. Operation is multiplication, and in the top row write the elements of G, that is 1 and minus 1. Okay, 1 and minus 1. And to the left also write the elements of G. This is our 1 and minus 1. Okay. Now take the multiplication here. That is here 1 into 1. 1 into 1 is equal to 1. And 1 into minus 1. 1 into minus 1. This is equal to minus 1. Then minus 1 into 1 right here, this is equal to minus 1. Minus 1 into minus 1, this is equal to plus 1. Okay, this is known as the composition table. And here these are the elements in the table, that is 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. What are these elements? So that is, let me take this element equal to A, this element equal to B, and this is equal to A, this is equal to B. And these are nothing but the product of these elements and these elements. That is, these are nothing but A into B. So that is the elements of G are A, B, then these are nothing but A into B. So the elements in the table obtained here are the product of the two elements of G. And here you can observe that all these four elements, whatever we have obtained, are nothing but the elements of G itself. Either it is equal to 1 or it is equal to minus 1. That means all the entries in the table belongs to G, means we say that closure law is satisfied because these are nothing but A star B, that is A into B here. They belongs to G. So closure law is satisfied. And associative law, that we cannot, multiplication is associative. Therefore here associative law holds. And to find the identity element, what you need to do is, this is the header row 1 and minus 1, and go below in the table and find a row which matches with the header row. See here, this is the row which is same as the header row, and here we got this row by taking the operation with 1 here, 1 into 1, 1 into minus 1. That is here, these are the two elements of G, and if I multiply with 1, there is no change here, means 1 is acting as the identity element. That is, to find the identity element, see the header row and go in the table, find the row which is similar, which is same as that of the header row, as it is a copy. This is a copy of the header row, and then whatever the element is to the left here, this is nothing but the identity element. So that is, in this case, 1 is the identity element. And next, to find the inverse of each element, and we know that inverse of identity is always identity. Just we have to find the inverse of other elements, that is other than identity. To find the inverse of minus 1, come to this row and go in this row to the right till you get the identity element. That is, if I move to the right here, I am getting the identity element here. That is, 1 is the identity here, I am getting 1 here. When we are getting this identity 1 here, if I multiply minus 1 with minus 1, means inverse of minus 1 is equal to minus 1. Like this, we can find the inverse of each element of G. And finally, for commutative law, we have to show that AB equal to BA. See, this is our AB, and this is also AB. So this is AA equal to 1, AB equal to minus 1. This is our AB. What is BA here? This is our B, this is our A. B into A, this is equal to minus 1. So this is minus 1, this is minus 1. And this is nothing but BB. Okay. So here we have AB is equal to BA. Or we say that what is the first row here? 1 minus 1. What is the first column? 1 minus 1. What is the second row? Minus 1 plus 1. What is the second column? Minus 1 plus 1. If it is like this, then we say that the table is symmetrical. See, this is the diagonal element here, and above this diagonal minus 1 is there, below the diagonal minus 1 is there. This is the this table is symmetrical about the principal diagonal. If the table is symmetrical about the principal diagonal, then AB equal to BA is satisfied for all A and B belongs to G. That means here commutative law holds. That is, to verify whether the commutative law holds or not, just we have to verify whether the given table is symmetrical or not. If it is symmetrical, then we say that the commutative law holds. Otherwise, the commutative law does not hold. Okay. So here, first write the table here. Then write 1 by 1 here. First one, closure law. Closure law. To show that closure law is satisfied, what we have to write here is, all entries in the table belong to G, closure law is satisfied. That just we have to write all entries in the table, all entries in the table belongs to G, closure law satisfied. Okay, closure law satisfied. This is 1. Next, 2. Associative. Just we can write here, multiplication is associative. multiplication is associated. That is in general A into BC equal to AB into C is satisfied, and we connect associate. Multiplication is associative. Therefore, associative law is satisfied. Third one. See here, identity. See here, this is the header row, the same row is here, and to the left of this one is here. So we can write one is the identity. One is the identity. One is the identity. And then fourth one, inverse of identity is identity itself. No need to say that inverse of 1 is 1. We go for the other elements. Only one element is there, minus 1. So to write the inverse of minus 1, I have to come to this row. I go to the right of this row like this till we get the identity. So identity is here. Whatever the element is in the header row, then this element is the inverse of this element. So that is here we write inverse axiom. Minus 1 inverse is equal to minus 1 itself. Okay, so inverse law is also satisfied. Fifth one we write commutative. We write the table is symmetrical. Table is symmetrical about the principal diagonal. Therefore, we say that G, comma, star, or we write dot, anything, or we can write like this also cross, is abelian group. Or we say that G is an abelian group with respect to multiplication. Okay, this is square roots of unity. Square roots of unity forms a group with respect to multiplication. Next we go for second one, cube roots of unity. Cube roots of unity. What are the cube roots here? Cube roots of unity means that is the cube root of 1. Let me take this is equal to say x. Okay. Definitely we get 3 values here. For cube roots of unity we get 3 values. If I cube this one, then we get x cube is equal to 1. Or we write x cube minus 1 is equal to 0. And here we write x cube minus. Can I write 1 equal to 1 cube? Yes, we can write is equal to 0. This is in the form of a cube minus b cube. This is in the form of a cube minus b cube. And we have, what is this a plus b whole cube? This is equal to a cube plus b cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square, or we write 3ab into bracket a plus b. This is our a plus b whole cube. And if I replace b by minus b, what we get is a minus b whole cube equal to a cube. We are replacing b by minus b. This becomes minus b cube. And this becomes minus 3ab because we are replacing b by minus b into bracket a minus b, or a minus b whole cube. Taking this term to the left hand side, this becomes plus 3ab into bracket a plus b is equal to a cube minus b cube. Okay. And here in these two terms, we have a minus b is a common factor. What remains here is, in the first term, we get a minus b whole square plus 3 times ab is equal to a cube minus b cube. So that is a minus b into, expanding this, a minus b whole square is a square plus b square minus 2ab plus this 3ab as it is equal to a cube minus b cube. So that is a minus b into a square plus b square minus 2ab plus 3ab is 1ab is equal to a cube minus b cube. So that is here a cube minus b cube can be written as a minus b into a square plus b square plus a into b. Right? So therefore, x cube minus 1 cube. So we have a cube minus b cube is equal to a minus b into a square plus b square plus a into b. Okay. A cube minus b cube, a minus b into a square plus b square plus ab. So therefore here x cube minus 1 cube is equal to, this can be written as x minus 1 into x square plus b equal to 1 here, 1 plus a into b. So here we have b equal to 1, that is plus x. This is equal to 0 means this implies x minus 1 equal to 0 and x square plus x plus 1 is equal to 0. What this implies here is if x minus 1 equal to 0 means x is equal to 1 is one value, and here this is a quadratic equation. Root of this is given by x is equal to, this is in the form of ax square plus ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Root of this is given by minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a minus b, that is minus, what is b here, b equal to 1 plus or minus root of b square, b equal to 1, b square, this is our ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Minus b is minus 1 plus or minus root of b square, 1 square is 1, b square minus 4ac, 4 into a equal to 1, c equal to 1 divided by 2 into a, 2 into a is 1. So this is equal to minus 1 plus or minus root of 1 minus 4. This 1 minus 4 is minus 3 divided by 2. So this is equal to minus 1 plus or minus root of minus 3 is, we write this as root of 3 into I divided by 2. So that is here we have two values here. Let me take one root is alpha is equal to, or we write we write alpha is equal to minus 1 plus root 3 into I divided by 2. One more root beta is equal to minus 1 minus root 3 into I divided by 2. Now here let me take instead of alpha, usually we denote this by omega. Let me take this alpha is equal to omega. Then that means here omega is one root here. Omega is one root of the equation. If I square this one, omega square is equal to, that is omega means we have taken this is alpha, minus 1 plus root 3 into I divided by 2 square. This is equal to denominator 1 by 2 square is 4. Here expanding this a plus b whole square, a square minus 1 square is 1 plus b square plus 3 into I square we have to write. I square is equal to minus 1. a square plus b square plus 2ab plus 2 into a is minus 1, b is root 3 into I. This is equal to 1 by 4 into 1. This is 3 into minus 3 minus 2 into 3. 2 into 3. 2ab. This is 2ab. This is minus 2 into root 3 into I. Or we write this is equal to 1 minus 3 is minus 2 into root 3 into I divided by 4, or dividing numerator and denominator by 2, we get here minus 1 minus root 3 into I divided by 2. This is nothing but beta. Minus 1 minus root 3 into I divided by 2. This is nothing but beta. So this is equal to beta. So that means here we have from this one is a root, one root, and second root is this one here, minus 1 plus root 3 into I by 2. So I have taken this as omega, and the next root is this beta. Beta can be written by omega square. Okay, beta is nothing but omega square. That means here 1 omega square are the cube roots of unity. So that is here G is equal to 1 omega square. These are the cube roots of unity. That means here 1 cube equal to 1, omega cube equal to 1, omega square cube, this is also equal to 1. Okay, these are the cube roots of unity. We have to verify whether this set is a group or not with respect to multiplication. So for that, what we do here is we write a table 1 omega square. Here we write again 1 omega square. Okay. Now take the multiplication. First 1 into 1, 1 into omega square. 1 into 1 is 1, 1 into omega is omega, 1 into omega square is omega square. Next, omega into 1, omega into omega square. Okay. Omega into 1 is omega into omega is omega square, omega into omega square is omega cube, but omega cube is equal to 1. Next, omega square into 1, omega square into omega square into omega square. Omega square into 1 is omega square into omega is omega cube. Omega cube is equal to 1. Omega square into omega square is omega to the power of 4. Omega to the power of 4 can be written as omega cube into omega. Omega cube value equal to 1. 1 into omega is omega. So this element is equal to omega. So this is the composition table. Okay, this is the composition table. Now here, and we write the operation here, multiplication. So in this corner we write the operation. See, these are the entries in the table, and these entries are nothing but the product of an element of G and again an element of G. This is the product of these are the product of two elements of G. And here we can observe that in this table, all the entries in the table belongs to G. Either these elements are either equal to 1 or equal to omega or equal to omega square. That is, all entries in the table belong to G. Closure law is satisfied. And multiplication is associative. Next, identity element. See, 1 omega square is header row, and here this row is same as the header row. And we get this header row by multiplying with 1. That means here 1 is the identity element. And to find the inverses, so 1 is the identity, inverse of 1 is 1 itself. Then to find the inverse of omega, in this row move to the right till you get the identity element. I am moving to the right here. I am getting identity element here. When I get the identity element, if I multiply omega with omega square, that means here omega into omega square equal to 1 means omega square is the inverse of omega. And to find the inverse of omega square, come to this one here and move to the right till you get the identity. First, second, yes. I am getting identity here. And I get the identity element here if I multiply omega square with omega. So that means here, inverse of omega square is omega. So that means inverse of each element exists. And finally, the table is symmetrical about the principal diagonal. See the first row, 1 omega omega square. First column, 1 omega omega square. Second row, omega omega square 1. Second column, omega omega square 1. Third row, omega square 1 omega. Third column, omega square 1 omega. So that is table is symmetrical about the principal diagonal. Therefore, commutative law is also satisfied. Hence, G is an abelian group with respect to multiplication. So for that, just you have to write here. Number 1, closure law. Number 1, closure law. All the entries in the table belongs to G. Closure law satisfied or holds. Closure law holds. Second one, multiplication is associative. So therefore, associative law holds. Right? Next, third one. See, directly we can, 1 is the identity element because this row is same as the header row, and to the left we have 1 here. Directly we can write 1 is the identity. So identity axiom is satisfied. Then for fourth one, inverse of omega is omega square. So that is here we write inverse of omega is equal to omega square, and inverse of omega square is equal to inverse of omega square is omega. So all the 4 conditions are satisfied, all the axioms are satisfied, and finally commutative law, just we have to say that the table is symmetrical. The table is symmetrical. The table is symmetrical about the principal diagonal. Commutative law holds. Commutative law. Commutative law holds. Okay. Commutative law holds. Commutative law holds. That is here. All the 5 axioms are satisfied. Therefore, G is an abelian group. with respect to multiplication. With respect to multiplication. Okay. Next I will go to next example. Third one. Fourth roots of unity. Fourth roots of unity. So what are the fourth roots of unity? So that is here fourth roots of 1. The fourth roots of unity. So let me take the value of this is say x. Okay, x equal to fourth roots of unity. And if we take arrange the power 4 on both the sides, then we can write here x to the power of 4 equal to 1. Or we write here x to the power of 4 minus 1 is equal to 0. And I will write 1 as 1 to the power of 4. Again I will write this in the form of, I will write this as x square minus 1 square is equal to 0. Okay. And this is in the form of a square minus b square. A square minus b square can be written as a minus b into a plus b. What is a here? A is x square minus b is 1 square into a plus b. A is x square plus b is 1 square is equal to 0. So this is again x square minus 1 square can be written as x minus 1 into x plus 1 into x square plus 1 is equal to 0. And this gives x minus 1 equal to 0, x plus 1 equal to 0, x square plus 1 equal to 0. So that is here x minus 1 equal to 0 means x is equal to 1. X plus 1 equal to 0 means x is equal to minus 1. And x square plus 1 equal to 0 means x square is equal to minus 1. And here x square equal to minus 1 means x is equal to plus or minus root of minus 1. This is equal to plus or minus root of minus 1 is nothing but I. So therefore here, what are the roots here? 1 is 1 root, minus 1 is 1 root, I is 1 root and minus I is 1 root. So therefore here, our G is the set of fourth roots of unity means 1 minus 1 I minus I. Okay. I value equal to root of minus 1. Now we have to prove that this set is a group with respect to multiplication. So consider here my G equal to 1 minus 1 I minus I. Okay. Write the composition table. Composition table is, so here I will write 1 minus 1 I minus I. Here I will write the multiplication here. 1 minus 1 I minus I. Okay. This is the composition table. Now take the multiplication from 1. 1 into 1, 1 into minus 1, 1 into I, 1 into minus I. So that is, this is equal to 1, this is minus 1, this is I, this is minus I. Second, take multiplication from minus 1. Minus 1 into 1, minus 1 into minus 1, minus 1 into I, minus 1 into minus I. Minus 1 into 1 is minus 1, minus 1 into minus 1 is plus 1. Minus 1 into I is minus I, minus 1 into minus I is plus I. Okay. Second, next. I into 1, I into minus 1, I into I into minus I. I into 1 equal to I into minus 1 is minus I into I is I square, I into I is I square that is minus 1, okay. Then I into minus I, that is minus I square, that minus of minus 1, this is equal to plus 1. Next, from minus I into 1 is minus I into minus 1 is plus I, minus I into I is minus I square, that is minus of minus 1, this is plus 1, minus I into minus I, minus into minus plus I square value is minus 1, so this is our minus 1. Again here, so this is our composition table. See, this is the header row, and these are the elements here. If you observe the elements in this table, they all belong to this set. Either we are getting 1 minus 1 I minus I. One of these 4 elements I am getting in this table. That means closure law is satisfied. And associated law holds for multiplication. And here this is our header row. Same row is here. Okay, this is our this row is same as the header row. Therefore, 1 is the identity element. And to find the inverse of 1 is 1 itself. Inverse of minus 1 is go in this row. We have 1 is the identity. So I am getting 1 identity here. And here to the top, here in the header row, we have minus 1. So that means inverse of minus 1 is minus 1. And inverse of I is, so going to the right here, I am getting identity here. To the top here we have minus I. Okay. So inverse of I is minus I. And to find the inverse of minus I, come in this row till we get the identity. Identity is here. And we get this identity if I multiply with I here. So inverse of minus I is plus I. And the table is symmetrical about the principal diagonal. See the first row, 1 minus 1 I minus I. First column, 1 minus 1 I minus I. Second row, minus 1 1 minus I. Second column, minus 1 1 minus I. Third row, I minus 1 1. I minus 1 1. Fourth row, minus I 1 minus 1. Minus I 1 minus 1. So therefore the table is symmetrical about the principal diagonal. Commutative law also holds. Therefore, G is an abelian group with respect to multiplication. Just we have to write here. So number 1, all entries in the table belongs to G, which implies closure law satisfied. Okay. Second one, multiplication is associative. Multiplication is associative. Third one, 1 is the identity. 1 is the identity. And fourth one, find the inverses. Inverse of minus 1 is equal to minus 1 itself. And inverse of I is equal to minus I. And inverse of minus I is equal to plus I. So inverse of each element exists. Fifth one, table is symmetrical. Table is symmetrical about the principal diagonal, which implies commutative law holds. Therefore, G is an abelian group. G is an abelian group with respect to dot, or we can write cross, or we say that it's multiplication. Okay. This is how we can verify the given set is finite, set is group or not with respect to the given operation. Okay. Thank you. I will stop here.